10 years of fitness coaching experience in the next 10 minutes. Exactly what I would tell you if I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I just wanted to get you optimal results. So the Big Five framework is where it all starts and ends. Cap control, calories, and adherence to protein. So those two valuables. If you hit your protein target, you hit your calorie target, I guarantee, as long as you've got the right targets, you will drop fat or gain muscle or whatever your goal is. Part two, though, is to drink enough water. It's hard to change your situation without hydration. And that's going to ensure that you kind of get trained on knowing the difference between thirst and actual biological hunger. Getting your sleep is really a foundation to everything else, because if you don't get it, you have higher cravings, you move less, you're more stressed, and you don't adhere to the plan. And then you've got to have some form of resistance training. Typically that means lifting enough weight relative to you, like heavy enough that it's hard, right? And making sure you're getting enough what we call max recoverable volume. So usually for the average person, that's maybe 10-ish sets per muscle group per week. So that's 10 sets for back, rows, pull downs, whatever. And spread out across the week, you're going to be getting enough volume to at least build, preserve muscle that way. And then lastly, move daily, just because it supports the overall plan. It ensures that you don't have to cut calories too aggressively to lose weight. And, well, I think everyone understands the benefits of walking. And it's a form of active recovery. So that all said, you've got these things. How does it actually look on paper? So in terms of a calorie deficit, I think the biggest variable, biggest key to a successful fat loss plan is making sure it's somewhat enjoyable, right? Everyone can get faster fat loss by going full keto and cutting calories really aggressively. But in the end, you're going to fall off the wagon with that. So 300 calories under your maintenance, maybe 500 calories during the week, and you're going to lose maybe a pound per week, right? And then protein, I like to think of it as 1 gram per pound of goal body weight, and that kind of gets you into this range. Okay, so that means if you're trying to lose 30 pounds, deduct 30 from your current weight, multiply that by 1. It's a pretty simple formula, and that's how many grams of protein you eat per day. And again, 80% wins out here. 80-20 rule applies to pretty much everything. Okay. Quick just rundown of the other ones. 3 liters a day is generally the sweet spot for water intake. Maybe taper off if you're older, especially like over the last 2 hours of the day before bed, so you're not waking up to pee multiple times. I don't need to get into the sleep piece. It's so important for regulating your hunger hormones, preserving muscle, obviously brain, body function better, and lifting weights to build the engine, keeping metabolism churning, and body composition is the game changer. It's not just enough to lose weight. The goal is lose fat, preserve, even gain muscle. Okay. And then 8,000 steps. Mainly because NEAT is such a key variable, that the one real variable we control when it comes to our metabolism is how much we move day to day. So getting steps wherever you can is going to play a big role in such a sedentary society we live in. And there's no recovery cost. It's not going to ramp up appetite. It's not going to make you, suffer in your strength workouts like long distance running or interval training will, and they compound quickly. Okay, so how do you build consistency? Because we all know the basics work best, but so many people struggle to adhere to them. So number one is the consistency piece. Having accountability to someone to appear, ideally someone you've actually paid with skin in the game. That's just reality as a human being. You're not going to take things seriously unless you're invested. So check-ins with a coach. Public commitment to peers in a group, some support group of some kind. Maybe you do meet someone in person, but it doesn't have to be that way. Nowadays everything's virtual, and that's cool. It works as long as you're honest and transparent in your tracking. Like having a big brother approach where someone's actually looking at your food log day to day, actually looking that you complete your workouts. That's where the magic is in terms of that. What we call a reverse bet, though, is where you put money down or put money into holding for like a charitable donation at the end of the year that you don't want to actually make. Okay, this comes from the concept from the Blackmail Diet, kind of an obscure book way back in the day. The author puts $5,000 into escrow with his lawyer, and if he doesn't lose 70 pounds within that year, he has to pay that $5,000 to the American Nazi Party, obviously a group he did not support. And that really kept him committed to the long game. So maybe it doesn't have to be the risk of losing something. Maybe it's something to gain. Like, oh, I'll book this vacation if I reach this goal weight by X date. It's either the carrot or the stick. The stick generally works better, and people are scared of it. But that, I think you can do both and still have some success with that. And then forcing functions, like having someone to check in, like a non-negotiable gym time in your calendar. And if you miss it, you have to, your kids get money from you. Pre-planning your meals. I think it was, the Odyssey, right? Where the sirens, I cut out for a sec. Where they put wax in their ears and they committed to going through the journey knowing that there was risks. Just like the whole idea of burning the boats. Okay, Cortez burned the boats so that they could not retreat. They had to either take the island or die, right? Honestly, sometimes it takes that. All right, muscle preservation. There's a reason we lift weights. There's a reason we hit the protein high. Those two certainly help, and sleep plays a massive role in this as well, as I move my face around. But there are advanced tools. Okay, so let me just go back here. Advanced tools with caution. You can take peptides nowadays that increase growth hormone levels, through the IGF-1 pathway. Just taking a GH Segretog or whatever they call them, or synthetic GH will preserve muscle in a deficit. Obviously, in conjunction with weight training and protein is going to be even better, but without even those pieces to the puzzle, it can do a lot for you. Now, of course, it's a performance-enhancing drug, and there's risks that I'm not going to get into on this call, and nor is it easy to source. You should be definitely going through a doctor through the proper channels if that's the route you want to go. I'm just sharing everything that I've seen in the literature, especially in the celebrity space, where increasing growth hormone within reason, optimizing testosterone for men or HRT for women, if levels are clinically low, that's going to help take a bit of a roadblock out of your way. And they really only work as long as you've got the basics tied in, but they might make you more adherent and they might make your results a little bit better. Okay. Managing hunger, that's a big X factor we run into all the time. So like I said off the top, not going too aggressive with your deficit. If you're someone that doesn't have a big appetite and you have a bigger goal in mind in a shorter time frame, then you can go more aggressive. You will lose a bit more muscle than the person that does it a bit more steady and slow. But if you can manage it, great. I mean, the average person like myself, hunger is my biggest bottleneck. And if I can reduce it, or, you can't really eliminate it entirely, but if you can reduce it, I would suggest eating as much as possible to still get the result you want, and only dropping or cutting once you've actually hit a full, legitimate plateau. Now, I knew this one was coming, but GLP-1 meds, like Ozempic, that's semaglutide, tirzepatide, Zepbound, and now there's the latest one that's not quite FDA approved, retatrutide. And all these do is signal satiety to the brain, meaning you get full faster, you are going to have potentially less cravings, and the dose makes the poison. Like if you go too high with it, you may discover that you have gastric distress, whether that's being backed up for days or the opposite effect, TMI, or just the general lack of malaise, kind of like energy goes down. Like there's always trade-offs. There's no biological free lunch, but certainly these can be a godsend for the right person. Okay. And then there's the poor man's Ozempic, berberine, like an over-the-counter glucose disposal agent. Steady your blood sugar, fills you up faster. You are, again, going to have issues with burping and farting and indigestion with that, like the GLP-1s tend to do as well. And then fiber intake, like psyllium fiber, bulk before meals, fills stomach, cuts cravings, like even just a scoop of that Metamucil before a meal. You will likely find you're more satisfied after the meal because of that. And layer these strategically, like high protein is still the beast that does most of the heavy lifting, and GLP-1s, it's unmatched, right? It's like, you can't get that from nature. It's like 100x increase in GLP-1 that lasts for about a week, and it's going to curb appetite. Certainly a tool that makes sense for some. Why this works? Well, I think at this age you understand discipline, willpower only take you so far, but you have a bigger commitment to this process because your health is on the line. You're not 20 that can get away with murder, right? Kids, gives you the forcing function because of schedule limitations. So you need to kind of get the most from the least. Wisdom beats youth energy in a lot of ways because small, consistent gains compound, and you understand the value of delayed gratification. And you've probably tried it all to this point, and you're done with the hype. You're ready for real. Okay. So, like I said, we've actually had almost 2,000 clients. So I can't make that claim just yet. 1986, I think, is the number in our processor. So we're close. Not all succeed, but over 92% achieve our first guarantee, which is to dropping 2 sizes in the first 90 days. Big picture, 20 to 50 pounds. Muscle preserved, like on DEXA scans. Even clothes fitting differently. You can be 10 pounds heavier than you once were in college, but you fit the same college jeans. That's a win-win. And, you know, the big picture is they're still using these 5 habits. They're consistent once they're done. So by the end of this video, your next move is to start with 1 habit. Hit your protein goal. Figure out what that protein goal is. You can hit the in the description, the calculator link to get your target set up for you free. Drink your 3 liters of water, or pick a lifting day, put it in the calendar, and make it happen. And that's how you build from there, just stacking small wins. The system has to be simple. It has to be somewhat enjoyable for you to stick to, and that's what we've designed. Through trial and error, I've done all the fads. I've helped clients wean off the fads and get to a simple system because I know that's what works in the long run. Alrighty, that's it for now.